Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our webinar today with Target Jobs and Rolls-Royce, lifting the lid on emerging talent opportunities. We're joined by the team today from Rolls-Royce, some graduates, some recent employees there who are going to share a little bit about their experiences and what it's like to work at Rolls-Royce. Now, before I pass on to the team, I just want to share a couple of housekeeping rules. Please make sure to put your questions in the Q&A tab and the team will address them at the end in the Q&A section. And if you'd like to show your appreciation for the team throughout the webinar, please put that in the chat tab. Any questions, please let us know. And I'm going to pass over to Devika to kick things off. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nahal. Good morning, everyone. My name is Devika, and I am one of the emerging talent recruiters here at Rolls-Royce. Just a little bit about myself. I have been a recruiter with Rolls-Royce for coming to 2 years almost, but I've otherwise been recruiting for 4 years across various sectors. With us today, we have a panel of 4 recent employees who have come through the emerging talent route with us. Just a quick introduction for them. I've got Jacob Domkovsky. He is a graduate on the Engineering and Technology graduate scheme currently. We've got Charlie Wynn, who's a 1-year-long engineering and technology intern in a year-long internship. Veena Sonavne, who is on the Enterprise Skills Accelerator program, our new program that's for a year, same as Mackenzie King on the Enterprise Skills Accelerator program. I'm going to pass it on to them to give you a quick introduction of themselves and their journey to Rolls-Royce and so far with us as well, and then have a little bit of a discussion of what their experience has been like with us. So if Jacob, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Devika. Thank you. Hi, thank you for joining today. My name is Jacob Domkovsky. As mentioned, I'm a graduate currently on the Engineering and Technology scheme. I've just passed a year, so it's normally about 2 years, and you have a little review in the middle. So yeah, my career journey so far. So prior to all of this, I would be a class as an outdoor instructor. I imagine I'd be running around the woods, not doing much. As you see on the left, this is pre-uni, and slight career change. I had other things I was interested in, and that's led me to the University of Leicester. Halfway through that, Target Jobs contacted me about the undergraduate year awards, which then led me to an internship, which then led me to here now on the grad scheme. Thanks.
Thank you, Jacob. And then we've got Charlie Wynn.
Hi, my name's Charlie, and I'm currently on the year-long internship here. I studied at the University of Sheffield, and I've always said it's a dream of mine to come to Rolls-Royce. So when I saw the applications open for the internship, I immediately applied. I'm about 4 months into my internship, and I'm really enjoying it so far. And there's some highlights on this to show what I've been doing so far.
Thank you, Charlie, and an amazing slide. In 4 months, you've just experienced so much already and lots to share, I can see. Thank you. And the next panelist we have is Mackenzie King. You're on mute. Okay. I think we've got a little bit of a technical glitch there. Mackenzie's struggling to come off mute. Now, if we can have a look at that, please. Until then, Veena, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, sure. Thank you. Thank you, Devika. So, hi everyone. I'm Veena Sanavne. I'm from India. I moved to UK 4 years ago, and I did my bachelor's in mechanical engineering back in India. And I used to work at Mumbai International Airport as safety engineer, and then I came to UK to do my master's in project management. And right after my master's, I joined Avolta at East Midland Airport, where I worked for 2 years 8 months as an assistant manager. So yeah, quite recently, I joined Enterprise Skills Accelerator program from October. So yeah, that's about me.
Thank you, Veena. Mackenzie, have we had any luck?
Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
There we go. I've just unplugged my headset.
No worries.
So I'm Mackenzie. I'm also on the Enterprise Skills Accelerator program, and I've been with Rolls-Royce, I think it's 6 weeks now, so still very new. And before coming to Rolls-Royce, obviously I completed my A-levels, completed those in 2022, and then went to university to study biomedical science, and then that's where I graduated in July. And then in about February, I saw the ESA applications were open. So I applied, then July, graduated, and then in between that kind of went through the assessment process in the assessment centres, and then also received my offer in July, and then started 6 weeks ago at the start of October.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, panelists. Now we want to just hear a little bit more about your journeys, and are happy to, for whoever wants to start with sharing around this experiences. We want to know, about your what was your route like? A little bit more detail into your route into Rolls-Royce. How has that experience been, as well as coming onto the program, and a little bit about your programs that you have joined onto. So, who would like to take that first?
Go on, I'll offer myself up first. Devika, if you want to throw the slide back up,
Sure.
that'd be amazing. Yeah, so as I mentioned before, my route into Rolls-Royce, I would have started at uni, and that was through the Target Jobs Undergraduate Year Awards. They gave the finalists a summer internship, which I completed in 2021. Prior to that, there was a couple of assessments. You got to go for a couple of interviews and assessment centers, which were just getting you to use your brain and getting you to think. And they'd be like, okay, this person can think, great. Because what's great is there's a very broad skill set that you actually learn here on the job. So it was quite a relatively well, the assessment center was great. It got you to think about how you can apply what you've learned at uni, not just the knowledge, but also like the soft skills as well. So your communication, and once you've got through this couple of stages, you've had your interview, you got invited to your induction day. At the end of the 10 weeks, there's an aspiration form. I'd like to come back again, which is what I did in the next summer after that. And at the end of that, it was please can I come back for the grad scheme? That'd be really good. Got the grad scheme, and as you can see here, my first placement on the grad scheme. So it's the engineering technology grad scheme. The other scheme is the business and enterprise. The first gig, because we call them gigs here, or rotations, was placed as a ME, which is a manufacturing engineer, and it's industrialization, which is just a fancy way of saying make things happen. How we've got problems, we've got things that need to happen within the manufacturing shop floor. How do we do that? And so that was a really good first gig. You normally do gigs rotations 3 to 4 months, and then once you start to get really good at it and the 4 month mark, you actually then have to leave and start your next gig. But that's part of the process. It's a part about being flexible and adapting and getting used to that. Because at Rolls-Royce, we're one Rolls-Royce, so you're used across the company. So it's about expanding that knowledge and then specializing later on, which is what the grad scheme is all about. But yeah, I've had a really great time so far, and I'm currently in the Trent task force, improving continuously improving things that are happening with that engine and helping the supply and demand with regards to parts and trying to get parts from some places around the globe. Yeah, that's about it for now. I can think, Devika.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Anyone and Charlie, you want to share your journey as an intern so far and your
Yeah.
journey? How did you get to your internship?
So I applied about this time last year in November. I think I just saw it on the website. I checked every day. I was like, oh, I wonder if Rolls-Royce have opened up their applications yet for the internship. And I saw it, and immediately me and my friend had a competition who could get that application in the quickest. So I was very eager. And then I think it's in December, I got a call saying I had an interview, and I was so excited. And I did the interview again in like late December, and I got the role, and I was so happy. I think Devika actually was the one who told me I got my role, and I don't know if she remembers, but I think I cried on the phone. I was like, thank you. So that was really exciting. And as part of my internship, I have to go back to my university at the end of the year, which will be exciting. So I would say my role here is I work in product design, and I do working on the Ultrafan 30, which is very exciting. And we use NX, which is our kind of CAD model here. So as you can see, there is a CAD design there. It's very basic, but my work is obviously very secretive, so can't show much more. But yeah, it's really fun. I've got a lot of support here as well, which I think is really important. So I'd say for the internship, you're here for 12 months, and you're kind of encouraged to stay in your team, but also potentially go into another team as well. It's not set up for you. I think in the grad scheme, it's more 4 months, whereas here in the internship, because it's only a year, you're only expected to stay in one team. But through communication and networking, I've managed to set myself up with another gig after Christmas. So about 6 months into my internship, I'll be coming back and then starting in a different team. It's up to you how you. I like one thing about the internship is that it's very in your control. So if you want to do something else, you have to reach out to that side of the business and contact someone there and set it up for yourself. But if you're happy to just stay in your team for the year, that's fine as well. Yeah, I think that's it for now. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Charlie. Vina, how's your experience been?
Hi. So our program is a little bit different. So I was working at East Midland Airport, but I was constantly searching for some opportunities within the aerospace because I have worked in aviation, I have worked at the airports. I was very familiar with the technical terms during my engineering. So I just randomly applied because Rolls-Royce is one of my favorite, place where I was constantly applying for last 3 years actually for internships. And unfortunately, I was not getting in, but I kept applying. And this is the third time when I got selected and I got a call saying that, okay, we are inviting you for the interview. And I was like, okay, that's a good thing. So I grabbed that opportunity. I didn't take it light at all. I was thinking I have to make most of this opportunity. And then I performed at my assessment center. And yeah, it turned out good. And yeah, that's how I joined. And I'm very lucky that this is the first cohort that they have set up for Enterprise Skills Accelerator program. And I'm very glad that I got selected for the first cohort. So everything is new. Everybody is just doing trial and errors. And yeah, we are trying to make most out of our program. And yeah, that's my experience.
Thank you, Vina. And Mackenzie,
Yeah.
being on the same group, what's your experience and what's your journey of coming into it?
My journey is a bit different to most of the people on the cohort. Obviously, I only graduated this year, so it's kind of the more traditional kind of grad scheme, if you want to call it that, after uni. But I think the good thing about the accelerator program is that it's a huge mix of people. Some people have like graduated this year. Vina's probably graduated a few years ago, so there's a real mix of ages and kind of people and degrees also. I mean, I'm not from a business background, so it's nice to be with people who also feel the same as me or that we're a bit like, oh, we don't know much about business. we're coming into it new, and there's people who kind of studied business and economics who kind of know all of the business terminology and things like that. But in terms of the assessment center, like Jacob said, a really positive experience. I went in and I was feeling a bit unsure how I'd perform because, like I said, I'm not from a business background, but it's just all about using your brain, thinking kind of from a business perspective. So yeah.
Thank you. And one of the key questions that, I'm sure our audience would love to know is the kind of support you get on the program and the challenges you've faced so far and how you overcame them. What's the
I
journey
can
been like? Yeah.
I can go if you want. So as part of the Enterprise Skills Accelerator program, I don't know if I mentioned, but basically it's a year-long program, and it's all aimed for developing your leadership skills, so you can be a future leader when you come off scheme. So as part of that, we're also studying a postgraduate certificate with Nottingham Trent, and that's in leadership and management practice. So you've kind of got two support networks. You've got the Rolls-Royce support network where you've got like a graduate lead. Well, we've just started our placements last week, so we now have like a gig manager. You also get assigned a buddy and a mentor who you can talk to, and they could be anywhere across the business. And then on the Nottingham Trent side, you've kind of got all your lecturers, tutors, that side, and that kind of like wellbeing support network too.
Thank you. And for those who've been here a bit longer?
Um,
Go for it, Charlie.
Okay, thank you. I was gonna say for the year-long internship, there is a lot of support. I was generally surprised how much support Rolls-Royce give us. I've got a grad buddy, and she kind of helps me with my career because I really want to come back on the grad scheme. So you're assigned a grad buddy as an intern, and I just talked to her about how to come back and like what should I do to improve, and that's really nice. I'd say we have like a monthly meeting, and again like you have to organize that yourself with the meetings, but she's really supportive. In my team, I have a team buddy. He is really nice. He kind of helps me with my day-to-day tasks, and if I'm ever stuck on anything, I can go up to him and ask him, can I have some help on this? And then I've got my line manager, and again, he's really easy to talk to. If anything happens, I can just go and talk to him. And honestly, anyone in the business, like there's so many people for support here, and people are so kind, and you can just speak to as many people as you want. So I'd say if you need support, it is there.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump in as well. Yeah, I completely agree with both points, Charlie, Mackenzie. Yeah, there is a network here that can support you, and it is anyone. It could be fellow people in your team. As Charlie mentioned, if you're a grad, sorry, no, if you're an intern, you get assigned a grad buddy. If you're a first year grad, you get a grad buddy who's in the cohort above you. Um, says it builds, and once you go from year one grad scheme like me to year two, you get assigned a grad from who's just coming now from September. So it's a chain of buddies all the way from interns to grads, and it's a really useful and helpful thing to not only meet new people but just pass knowledge along to each other. um, so yeah, it's really good, and you have career coaches assigned to you, as mentioned before, and these people you just out to them on Teams or on email, like that. I need some help, and they will come and help you out or answer any questions you have for them.
Thank you, Jacob. And Vina, have you had any buddies supporting you on the program?
Currently, I have got one. I recently started my gig last week. So I have got a buddy who is in my placement. So if I have any kind of informal doubts or very silly doubts, I would say, then I'll just turn up to him and I'll be like, hey, how do I do this? Where do I find this? And, all informal support because the managers are usually busy and we don't want to bother them, right? So the buddies are the best person whom we can reach out, and they can help you, support you, and they are available for you. So it kind of helps you calm down when you're settling into a new gig or placement. So yeah, my experience has been good so far.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And
Yeah.
before I move on to going through what our opportunities are and what we have, I'm sure everybody, no matter how long or short you've been here, you must have a moment which has been the most memorable for you. So if you want to share a memorable moment with us in terms of your time with us, could be, and Jacob, I believe you've been with us twice now, so it can be from your internship as well if needs be.
I can go.
Yep.
Um, I mean, it's only been 6 weeks, but for me, at the start of the Enterprise Skills Accelerator program, you do kind of a month induction. So we went to the head office in London for a week and kind of got to speak to senior leaders of the business there. And then the second week we was at Nottingham Trent for university, and then the third week we actually went on Outward Bound, um, which is essentially we went to the Lake District with our cohort, and we're there for the week and kind of took part in outdoor activities, all based around building your leadership skills. So I'd say my standout moment so far is probably Outward Bound. It was just really nice because I feel like the cohort really got to know each other, and kind of bonded really that week.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I would like to add to Mackenzie. We both were in the same team for like whole week, and it was the best experience. I have got like all of the teammates that I had, they all were adventurous, but not me. But I didn't know my limits. Mac helped me a lot, so he knows what goes on there. And yeah, I was the most non-adventurous person there, but the Escadale for 1 week gave me a very good understanding of myself. How far I can go, how much I can push myself, how much resilience I have got, how I work with my team, and how do I make friends as colleagues. And there were lots of things that we were doing there, and it was the best camp we had. So yeah, so if you get selected on ESA program, you'll definitely enjoy that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Jacob and Charlie, do you have a memorable moment or an Outward Bound experience?
My Outward Bound experience is coming January next year, so I'm definitely gonna be looking forward to that. I've heard a lot of great things about it. So again, it sounds like a good team building exercise and learning what the company's about, but in a completely different setting. So I'm looking forward to that. I'd say one thing that happened a couple of months ago was so on site in Derby, there's something called Test Bed 80. It's one of the largest indoor test facilities. Walking into that room is something else. It is a massive building, and they had a jet up on the stand, ready to go for testing. And just walking around some of the facilities here on site are kind of jaw dropping. Once you get here, and I find I'm still in, I think you call it the honeymoon period. You're here and you're all a bit lovey dovey, and I'm still like that. Even it's been over a year now. I'm still like, wow, I'm at Rolls-Royce, and you're seeing some marvelous equipment, marvelous machines, and marvelous people, and I'm still enjoying every moment of it. So yeah.
Thank you, Jacob. And Charlie.
Yeah, I would say the same as Jacob. Like, you can go on so many amazing tours here of the facilities as well. I got to go to Testbed 80 and it is mind blowing. But it's really cool. And maybe another memorable moment was asked to do some filming for Rolls-Royce, like the careers website. And that was so fun. I got to talk about my experience here and how I got to this position. And it was just like a really nice few days of filming in the LDC and just such a great opportunity. So that was definitely a highlight.
Now you're famous for on our website and everywhere.
Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Thank you. Thank you, panel. I can see we've got a few questions. We're going to address them at the end. I'm going to move on to talking you through the opportunities that we have discussed so far and how you could join us. So you have mentioned a lot of things so far. You've mentioned, you've heard about the award we have with Target Jobs. You've heard about a year-long internship. You've heard about the 10-week internship, graduate program. I believe Jacob mentioned the business and enterprise graduate program as well. However, we do not do that anymore, and that's been replaced by the Enterprise Skills Accelerator program. So that is the new program as of this year. Hence the new cohort that who've joined us today, Rena and Mackenzie, are on the Enterprise Skills Accelerator program, which replaces our business program and focuses intensively on the development that's focused towards leadership and strategy and being the leaders for our futures at the moment. So as you can see on your screens right now, so we've got the engineering and technology internship. It's a 10-week program or a 12-month program. 12-month program is a little bit like the placements. So if you are in university in your second year, you are looking at a placement year. A 12-month internship is exactly what a placement would serve for you on the same program as well. And then we have the 10-week program, which is a summer internship. So if you are in your first year or second year and are going back to university afterwards, you in your undergraduate program, you'd be able to do that program there. Many might be on a master's program. I know it doesn't say here on the screen, but if you're on a master's program with a year in the industry, like it is a placement that you're going to have, then yes, if your program allows you to have a placement year as a part of your master's, you'd still be eligible for that 12-month internship. But it'll depend on the program and making sure that your university allows for that. Similarly, for the 10-week program as well, masters, if you're doing masters, you need to be going back after the summer internship into education to be eligible for that. But it gives you a great opportunity to get an idea and taste for Rolls-Royce, get valuable experience, but also make a lot of contacts and network and build your network for going forward. As Jacob mentioned, he's on the Engineering and Technology graduate program. This is a 2-year program. So this is after your graduation. Again, it is usually when you're coming off the undergraduate program, but it does not mean that if you've just finished your master's, you cannot join on this program as well. You can still be eligible for this one as well. Here it is a bit more extensive. So in the 2-year program, you are going, it is a rotational program. You'll be going around the business to make sure you get a broad breadth of knowledge from different areas, not only discovering us as a business and what we do, but also giving you the opportunity to find your footing in your interest in the areas that we have. That's why it differs quite a lot from the academics you may have come from. We do find a lot of people have studied a particular a particular course, and then during that studies they've decided they want to they want to go and do an X role at Rolls-Royce, for instance. But having come here and then rotated around, you do discover other areas and where your skill sets lie and your interests lie as well. And you go ahead and pursue that career going forward and specialize in that area. It is a rotational program, though rotations are given for you. You do have a say and control in here as well, with working with your managers, working with your buddies, working with those mentoring you to shape what those rotations look like for you as well. The other way to enter as well is graduate roles. So how does this differ from a graduate program? This is a direct entry role, previously known as a graduate direct entry. Now we are calling these or advertising these as launch, which means that you are very new in your career. You have perhaps recently graduated, but you will be coming in at a trainee level at a specific role. So unlike the graduate program where you're rotating around and getting experience across the business. In this one, it is a specialized role that you know you're interested in, and it has a more quicker and steeper learning curve to develop the skills that is required for that specific role. And these usually come about across the board from engineering and business roles as well. And like I mentioned, the Enterprise Skills Accelerator program, new program we have for graduate students, again, masters or bachelors. And like Mackenzie's mentioned earlier, you have people from all different areas of study. The engineering and technology programs that we have are very STEM focused. So if you come from a STEM subject, is when you are eligible for entry for those roles. But for the Enterprise Skills Accelerator, you could have graduated at any time in any discipline of your choice at that. It is intensive. It is a 1-year program and focuses on that leadership as well, and you get a qualification out of that. A little bit more in and around what I was saying. The engineering technology, the choices you have here is to come in for a 10-week internship, a 12-month internship, or a 24-month graduate program after your graduation. You will need a STEM degree or a joint with a STEM qualification as well. Usually you get experience around the mechanical, the software, digital, manufacturing, materials is a very demand heavy area as well, and go into these areas to specialize. Now, this is what do you get out of, joining us besides the knowledge, besides the depth? So what are we offering as a company? We've got a competitive salary here. So for graduates, you can see it is 31,000 and then a joining bonus of 2,000. Interns have a starting salary of 23.6 and a £500 relocation payment as well, which you get in your first salary, and other rewards and benefits that come with being at Rolls-Royce, such as health. Any Charlie, any Jacob, any of you use any of the benefits that you want to highlight that you think would be of value to anyone?
We get like shares. We get like discounts
Shares.
for shares, which I think is quite interesting. And also just to say that you work at Rolls-Royce, that's a big, big one.
Yeah, we have something called it's like uni days, right? We have something called the benefits hub, where you have access to discount codes that are shared with Rolls-Royce employees. So if you are a Rolls-Royce employee, you have access to certain discounts available to the company. So that's one of the rewards and benefits.
Fantastic, thank you. And as we mentioned, you've got that coaching, that support, that mentorship, the buddy system, helping you continue your learning and development, and a very supportive environment across our managers and experts and your peers as well. As I was mentioning, the graduate direct roles, so the launch is a new pathway. We've had them previously, but they have been not a direct thought out entry path, but now we have introduced this as a distinct path to step into a role directly or into our permanent roles. It's designed for ambitious graduates, but it can be across bachelor's, master's, PhD level, and you feel that you're ready and you do want to go into a role directly and start specializing in that role immediately. And another new program that we have, the Enterprise Skills Accelerator, replacing our business and enterprise graduate program. It is for those early in their careers or those who probably are looking to change their careers as well. because they could have graduated at any time, but in this you're focusing on that leadership, that agile mindset, understanding financial and commercial aspects to the business, but also working with people at a strategic level with the thinking and the influencing skills required for this. As you can see, you initially start off on this program with a Kickstarter, and you have an extensive training that you go through before you start your first gig to give you an understanding of the business in quite a lot of depth. You connect with the executive leaders, so you're already there and being mentored by the seniors in the business as well, and start making a real business impact through from day one on the program. I'll just leave that for a second there. Now, the Enterprise Skill Accelerator's offering is slightly different. The package offers 40,000 plus the 5,000 and 40,000 annual salary plus a 5,000 joining bonus that's paid within the first month. And like they said, there's a fully funded postgraduate qualification certificate that you'd be working towards as well. The opportunities to travel and get an insight into Rolls-Royce from a worldwide operations perspective, because that feeds into the strategy of the business as well. Now, what is the ask for this? If we are saying you could have graduated at any time, or you could have graduated in any background, what is it that we are looking for in the individual throughout the application process? We're looking to see that you have a business acumen, you're curious, you're motivated, you want to learn, and you want to you're quite ambitious to go there, but that needs to be demonstrated throughout our application process, which I'll talk you through. There we go. That's our application process. So across all of these areas, this is pretty much consistent in how we process our applications in the Emerging Talent team. So myself and my team, we will be advertising roles. They are advertised on our career website, and you would be able to access them from the get-go. Now, a lot of people wait until an advert has come out if they're checking all the time, but there is something you can be doing beforehand to start preparing for the process as well. There is a very intensive and extensive guide on our website, which talks you through what the application process looks like, what our application process questions are, so you can start preparing the answers to the questions that we're going to be asking on the application form that you'll be filling in. It's already there. So you can start preparing for those, even if the role's not live yet, giving you a little bit of practice, giving you a interview pack of what the interviewers will look like as well, giving you an idea of what sort of questions and how to approach them, the kind of assessments we'll be doing. So you can start looking at those already on our website and start preparing for this. However, when a job does go live, the application process, we do not require a CV in any of our programs. We are looking for you to answer 3 questions, depending on which program you're coming on to. So you're answering 3 questions about Rolls-Royce and yourself. So we want to see, what do you know about us? What do you know, how are your interests and your hobbies and your experiences and your studies aligning to what we are and what we do, and why do you want, how will it benefit you from being a part of Rolls-Royce, as well as benefit from the program that you're selecting. We want to see your curiosity and your understanding of going above and beyond to research a little bit more and understand how current affairs impact us as well. That's the online application process. There is an option to attach the CV, but like I said, we do not when we are reviewing your applications, we do not look at that. We look at your application, and then there are basic questions around your studies, your qualifications that you've already achieved, if you have obtained your degree already, if you're waiting to graduate, all of those areas is what is being asked on that application form. Once you've applied and you've met the basic requirement of meeting the entry requirements, you will be sent a link to do an online assessment. Now, the online assessment is done a little bit like a psychometric test, where we are in a situational behavioral judgment assessment, where we are looking to see how would you behave in a certain situation from that. So you would have to do that online assessment first. And once you're successful on that online assessment, you will be sitting in a pot where we will be reviewing your application. So all the recruiters like myself will go in and review your application answers, and then shortlist you to come into an assessment center or an interview accordingly. If you've been invited to an assessment center, there are different stages of assessment, which again, it's on our website, where we do various things from interview, presentation, hands-on activity, practical exercises, to problem-solving exercises. So you'd be assessed in different areas. Like the panel was saying, it is about how you are applying what you've learned so far, and how it is to enable your thinking and application of that. And if you're successful, you move to the offer stage. If you have been successful, you receive a call from us letting you know what the outcome is. However, if you haven't been successful as well, one of the things that we do pride in here at Rolls-Royce is that we do give feedback to every single one of you by phone, regardless of the outcome, and we make sure it is feedback that will be useful for you to go and improve on or apply, and see what you can do better next time if you're interviewing anywhere else, or if you choose to come back and interview with us as well. Here are some key dates. So for this year's applications. So as you can see, Enterprise Skills Accelerator is now closed for this year, but next it opens again for next year in October 2026. Currently, we are open for the graduate and internships until the 14th of November. The window is still open. So at the end of this call, if you do wish to apply for this year, please do go ahead and check out our website. But you can see the dates for next year, helping you prepare for next year as well. Graduates and 12-month internships open in September, and the summer internships in June. Oh, sorry, that's the start dates. Start dates will for next year will be then. So keep an eye out for our applications. I believe the Enterprise Skills Accelerator is now closed for the next year's start dates. However, they will open again around that September, October time next year. Fantastic. And if you remember, Jacob early on mentioned about coming on to the 10-week paid summer internship through a award that is run by Target Jobs, but sponsored by us, is for sponsored by Rolls-Royce, is the Undergraduate of the Year award. We are looking for the Undergraduate of the Year award to celebrating excellence through future skills. You can enter to this as well, where you not only get an award, but as a prize, you could win a 10-week paid internship with us. So that's during the summer. An opportunity to shadow a Rolls-Royce leader or a senior manager for a day, an Apple Watch, and some Rolls-Royce swag. So you've got that there, the branded gifts. Now, to be eligible for this award, you need to be in the second or third year of your undergraduate program at a university in the UK. and be available to attend an assessment center. So you still have to do as part of the award. We do look at your applications, but there is also an assessment center and networking sessions that you would be attending on the dates. So those dates will be available as well, and be able to accept the price of the summer internship as well. Fantastic. Thank you so much. I'm just going to put this here. So if you want to scan these, you can scan these now. So you could join our talent community. So if you're interested in hearing about our graduate programs and internships, you've got the QR code on the left, and then you've got the Enterprise and Skills Accelerator. If you're interested in that program, please scan the QR code on the right on the screen. There is also a third QR code right at the top, which is to visit our website, where you can start exploring and learning a little bit more about our business, but also seeing what we have there to help you prepare. Scanning these will give us your details, and we will be able to share, when these go live with you as well. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now we're going to move on to the questions. I can see we've got a few questions here on the chat. I'm more than happy to read them out, and if anybody wants to take them, please from the panel do come off mute and just do take them. So first question I have is, hi, I'm Pratik, currently pursuing my master's in engineering with management at King's College London, with nearly 2 years of experience expanding a business worth millions of dollars across 27 countries in the mechanical industry. Very keen of pursuing a career at Rolls-Royce. Question here is, given the current challenges around visa sponsorship in the UK, what would be the most effective way for someone with your background to stand out and secure an interview opportunity at Rolls-Royce? Ideally where I can personally demonstrate skills and potential impact. Thank you for your question, Pratik. I can take this one. I understand that there's a lot of changes happening currently in the immigration scene. Now, our graduate programs, our internship programs are open as long as you are in education. So you do say you're currently pursuing masters. If your masters does allow you to have an internship, as if you're going, for instance, if you're going back after the summer to continue and finish your dissertation and your submissions, you can do a summer internship that you'd be still eligible for. If your university and your master's is with a placement, so you'd still be eligible for our placements, because your student visa should cover for those areas. Our graduate schemes used to be are still being looked into if they can still open for international students. However, the Enterprise Skills Accelerator program is something that may be of your interest if you're looking for a graduate program for 1 year. I hope that answers your question. And then this is a question to Mackenzie. How did you make a connection between your studies in biomedical sciences and Rolls-Royce? Were there any particular skills that you think were key to your application?
Yeah, I don't think there's any particular skill which stands out. I think for me, especially in the assessment process, it was kind of talking about the skills that I've developed at university, and kind of how I can apply that in a Rolls-Royce scenario, really. I think all the skills that I've developed at university were transferable to what I'm doing now. For me, maybe leadership skills probably at the top, just because I'm on the ESA program. But I think all skills which are developed are transferable into the business.
Thank you, Mackenzie. And then we've got another question here from Ben Russell, who says, I am a soon to graduate master's student in climate change from King's College London. Are there any climate change or sustainability entry routes or elements of this entry routes in the entry routes or grad program? So I believe you mean, when you say entry routes, you mean direct entry roles. This is something that you'd have to keep an eye on from a direct entry role perspective, so the graduate launch program, as these are more ad hoc in terms of the demand we have in the business. But there can be some that do come about. In terms of the graduate program, Jacob, do you have an idea around the climate change and sustainability?
So I've met a lot of grads who have come from different backgrounds. They've studied different things, sometimes unrelated to what Rolls-Royce do. And I think university, it teaches you a specific subject, but it is those secret, hidden soft skills that are being drilled into you that employers look for. Yes, they like, okay, you've studied a specific knowledge set, but there are secret things that are being drilled into you that employers are like, great, they have these soft skills. We can also teach you the relevant things in the job at the same time. And that comes with experiences within the company. So there are definitely areas and rotations that I've seen where uh, was it climate science or climate change or study of renewable and sustainable things. There are options where you can come across that within certain teams around Rolls-Royce. I'm trying racking my brain right now to try and think of a team, but I can't. But there are, and this is to anyone on this webinar who are like, are my skills relevant? They will be, 100%. They will be.
Thank you. And then we've got Rahila. I'm curious to know about recruitment stages for technology and engineering graduate schemes. So my question is to Jacob, if he can put some light into the application phases of that grad scheme for tech scheme. Furthermore, if you can elaborate a bit more on the assessment center activities, what kind of tech skills need to be present, any particular coding knowledge from that perspective. Jacob, do you want me to take a part of that and then you can give your
Yeah.
thoughts? Yeah.
So yeah, take part of that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, Rahila, we did cover the stages of the assessment process, application process there in terms of you do an application without a CV with answering 3 questions. There are some questions in there where you might want to demonstrate some technical knowledge, but they're not necessarily around coding or any technical tools per se. They're still soft skills around research and understanding current affairs and putting them together. And from an assessment center perspective as well, the activities you do, the technical skills we're trying to understand and gauge from you are more around, can you take technical information, can you absorb technical information, and can you simplify them, can you present them in a simplified way, can you communicate them, but not necessarily can you speak the language we speak here here in the company itself. I don't think that's what we're trying to see. It is more around those soft skills. So Jacob, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. So when I did it was a couple of years ago, so I don't know if it changes. It sometimes does, and I don't also want to give away if it's still the same. The subject of these assessment centers, what it's around, but it's exactly what Devika said. You will be given a task to absorb information, and the exactly that is can you then verbally communicate or summarize that down again to to show your understanding, without giving away what some of these assessments are. That's basically it. um,
That's fine. So I can shed a little bit of light a bit more on there because it is on our website. Every year it does change what the details are of it. But like I mentioned earlier, interview is something that's a given. You will be interviewed, and in the interview, we are looking at your motivations. Why do you want to do what the program you've applied for? Why do you want to work for Rolls-Royce? And it's not only, but we don't only want to hear what about the company. Definitely want to see what about the company, but we want to see how does that align to you? How does that align to you as an individual? That you want to do this program? How does that resonate with you? What are the skills and things that you feel like are missing that you might get from us? Other activities include like, giving you a problem to solve, giving you some questions and some information, and then you have to go ahead and spend some time absorbing that and solving that and solutionizing that. Sometimes we do have things like for graduate programs and internships, it's all our assessment centers are virtual, so you don't have any hands-on activities. But if there is anything that we do give you to build, it will be online. But again, there is no coding or technical skills as from that perspective that we're looking for. Yeah. Thank you, Rahila. And then we've got, I'm currently pursuing masters in AI. So question would be, we have internship programs? Yes, we do have internship programs, not necessarily that are called AI, but in engineering and technology, we do have internships. I know a lot of our software focused interns do and graduates do end up in Solihull side of the business. So we are in three main locations, but what we do hire across many other other offices across the UK as well. Our main sites are Derby, Solihull, and Bristol, that we have our graduate programs and internship programs across. Thank you. And then we've got pursuing data science. Are there any internship opportunities related to this field? So again, the program is called Engineering and Technology Internship or Graduate Program. It is about making that clear, and we try and align you when you do apply to the area of business you come in from. However, data science can get applied in various different locations, areas of the business here at Rolls-Royce. By the way, guys, do jump in if you do have anything.
Yeah, I will. In terms of data, if you're on this call and you love data and you love handling it and you love analyzing it, Rolls-Royce has lots of data. And so if you're willing to come along at some point and help us out with that, it would be appreciated. They will definitely want someone who can apply themselves that way.
Yep, thank you. And I had a question for Mackenzie. How does your degree apply to the jobs at Rolls-Royce, which I imagine is very engineering based? I think, did you cover that with the previous one? Do you want to add anything more?
So my role isn't really engineering, it's more business and enterprise. So on the ESA program, I mean, my placement's in a people team. I know Vina's project management, I think. And there's people based all over. So there's people in procurement, there's people. So we're not really the engineers. We're more of the enterprise.
Yep. So there are various roles across the business. So even if it's an engineering based company and we do have a lot of engineering based focus on our roles, there are operational roles across the business that need to keep that are required to keep the ball moving. When will you advertise the entry level job applications? They are pretty ad hoc. I do not have a fixed date for them, so they do come and go as per the demand at the moment. I didn't see the entry level roles or the graduate on the graduate section of the website. Again, it will be in the graduate section of the website. It will there's not a specific section for it, but it will say graduate launch or launch program on there, because it is not a fixed program. Please do understand that it's not a fixed program. The launch pathway allows us to hire entry level roles as required by the business. So that is a pathway to come through from as well. So it'll still be in the graduate section, graduates and intern section. Fantastic. I know we're a bit short on time, but I'm more than happy to continue finishing the questions. Are the panel okay with that as well? Yeah?
Yeah.
Thank
I'm
you.
actually going to have to just dash. I've got another meeting.
No worries, Mackenzie. Thank you so
Okay.
much. If I want to transition from civil to aerospace or manufacturing engineering, what kind of technical upskilling would you recommend? Any of the panel have an idea of the areas of?
Yeah, I understand the question. The transfer from civil to aerospace or manufacturing engineering.
So I think this person's in civil engineering.
Yep. And what kind of technical upskilling would you recommend?
So sorry, I do aerospace at Sheffield, and I would probably say it would be more like fluid dynamics that we do in aerospace on aerodynamics than maybe civil. But we have a lot of joint modules, so it would be about your university. You'd probably be best going to a university advisor and ask them about the course and what the difference is. But there's been so many interns from all different like STEM degrees. So one did physics, one did like I forgot mechatronics, and even though they weren't from an aerospace side, they still found it fine. So I think being from civil wouldn't put you at disadvantage at all.
Yes, I agree. I agree. It is. That's why when we do advertise, we say you need to come from a STEM background rather than a specific degree. My major is biomedical science. I'm the first year of undergrad. I want to apply for the summer internship. How can I apply and what are the requirements that I need? I'm really interested. I think I've covered that. I hope I've answered your question earlier, Navita. Thank you all for the time and information, career progression. I was just wondering what the career progression looks like within the firm after the accelerator graduate program scheme. So, Veena, do you want to shed some light on what happens after the ESA program?
Yeah, sure. So our program is technically for 12 months. And during this 12 months, you will be doing like one gig, which you will be based in the business for 5 months. And then at the end of the program, you have to do 6 months strategic project with your other two teammates, cohort mates. So it's like it will be like 3 people in a team, and then you are doing a real-time project with Rolls-Royce. And after your 6 month strategic project is over, you will be then again your skills will be assessed, and they will look how you performed on your specific projects and your gigs, and overall they will make a decision where you basically fit properly in our business, and then they can move you into defense, they can move you into power system, they can move you within civil aerospace, different teams. So it's like the Rolls-Royce is a very complex organization in terms of teams. So you actually don't know where you could land after 1 year of your course, and it's just that how good you develop your skills, and then you will find the right department at the end of the internship, and then yeah, you have to make most out of it. So
Thank
it's
you.
it's it's not fixed. Yeah.
Yeah, so it is like, thank you for shedding light. So just to reiterate that yes, there is many opportunities around the business. We are investing in this because we want you to do well and want you to end up in our strategic teams. However, it does come back to you as well and how you take the opportunity and run with it. You do have to demonstrate that you have made the most of the program, as it is a very competitive program as well. And at the end, it is going to be dependent on your performance and how you've done and how you've developed, and going forward, be able to give back as well. So it'll be an ongoing conversation to then see if you move into a permanent role.
Yeah.
There is a question here about Saudi Arabia employment. Sultan, if you do want to drop us an email, that would be perfect from our website, because Saudi Arabia is done by a different team for the hiring. So it is a different approach for that. Thank you for taking the time to share your experiences. So there's a question about the Undergraduate of the Year award. Is it possible to apply to that as well as the summer internship, or do you have to choose between the two? And is the 10-week summer internship paid if it isn't arranged through the award? So yes, second part of the question, yes, the 10-week summer internship, regardless of it being through the award or not, it is a paid summer internship. I believe nothing stops you from applying to both. However, if you've already done one, if you've done an assessment center for one of them, then you cannot do the assessment center for the other one. So even if you get chosen, if we see that you've applied to both, you'll be only invited to the assessment center for one of them, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Also, I want to add a thing. When I'm reading the questions, I understand people are very confused about what particular skills they need, because they are thinking it's mostly majorly the manufacturing engineering, or engineering based company, and how a biomedical student is coming over. So to shed a light on that, Enterprise Skills Accelerator program, everybody is from different background, and some people are from nursing background. I have one colleague who is from police background, so it doesn't really matter. ESA is very flexible program in terms of going into business. If you are passionate about going into business and learn things, you can just go and just apply. Don't overthink if I have the right skills. Yeah, you should have a right attitude, uh, right set of behavioral skills to progress into Rolls-Royce, because Rolls-Royce hire for a person. The better person you are, the better your chances are to get selected. If I'm not wrong, Devika might agree with
No,
me.
you're right.
Yeah, so just bring your positive attitude and just go for it. Just apply whatever is suitable for you. Don't overthink your skills and just trust the process.
Yeah, and you do
Yeah,
apply for one role per year. So
yeah,
you're allowed to apply again next year if you're not successful this year, but don't apply for everything this year. Now, this is for a given reason. For example, if you're applying for Enterprise Skill Accelerator, but you're also applying for engineering and technology, it is more around what are you genuinely interested in developing yourself in the future. So if you've applied for both, it may not work in your favor. I've got a question here about the UAE as well. Again, Punya, if you do want to drop us an email about that, and we can direct you to the right person to speak to, as the session is for the UK programs, and the programs globally work slightly differently. I am an MBA student and specializing in business analytics, previously studied mechanical engineering. Is there a possibility for me to apply for the management role or program at Rolls-Royce starting January? So yes, for the Enterprise Skills Accelerator program, yes, you can definitely, if that's when you're graduating and then you want to be joining after your graduation, yes, you are eligible to apply for the Enterprise Skills Accelerator program. Could you please share when the applicants can expect to hear back regarding the next stages of the Enterprise Skills Accelerator program? Depends on which stage you're at. So if you're at an application stage, we would be, it depends on when we would be doing, when you've applied and when the assessment centers are happening. So you usually hear 2 to 3 weeks before the assessment center dates actually happening, unless they have been postponed. If you have already given your interview, you've done the assessment center already, we come back to you in as early as we can, but we do say give us about 2 weeks, because we are doing assessment centers back to back for the full week before we can come back to anyone. We've got a couple more. As a first-year engineering graduate, what skills would you recommend to work on skills-wise to be successful in the future? I think we've heard throughout that there is a theme here in terms of your own personal skills, interpersonal skills, communication skills, team building skills, teamwork, working with deadlines, working in difficult situations, and it's literally soft skills that you can pick up everywhere. One of the
Yeah.
key thing. One of the key things I personally say to everyone who does come for an interview when I'm speaking to candidates is, do not underestimate any of your experience, because all of your experience example will be there and give you something to talk about for different questions and answers you have when you want to show those skills. Sorry, Jacob, you were saying?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I would say, yeah, exactly that. If you are writing a CV or applying or working on bettering yourself, have a look at everything or anything that's happened in your life and try and spin it. Try and spin it and go, actually, what has that taught me? And what could that show to people in terms of application or skills you might have you don't know yet? And I would definitely say, as an engineers, we do tend to be quite quiet, quite introverted. And so I definitely say interpersonal skills is actually very important, because you are teams of people and you need to talk to each other. You need to communicate with each other and get the job done. So I'd say one thing would be working on interpersonal skills. So communication with individuals and being able to talk, such as myself right now on this webinar, I would not be doing this like 2 years ago, but 2 years of growth has allowed me to come onto a screen and do this. So you will surprise yourself on what you can do.
Thank you, Jacob. I've got a question here about travel. If accommodation and travel would be covered or reimbursed in the internship for UK students? So for an internship, let's say you're not based in Derby, Solihull, or Bristol, you would have to relocate regardless of the 10-week internship or a 1-year long internship. The expectations is for you to find that accommodation and relocate. We give you support. We give you like things like a housing pack, giving you guidance from other interns who already have moved before and graduates who have moved around. They've put a lot of effort into putting this pack together where it gives you an idea of where you can go and how you can go about finding accommodation. However, once you are on the program and you have been asked by the business to go to a different site for a day, for a week, for a couple of days, that travel and that um, um, accommodation would be reimbursed or would be booked through the business itself. However, for the internship, when you've applied and you have to go and make yourself available to attend at that location, that would be down to to yourselves. I've received positive feedback about the assessment center. Very eager to share my experience at the interview, coming from an engineering background. I've applied for the enterprise program. Again, our enterprise skills accelerator. The applications have not closed not long ago, so we are just going through the applications we've had and reviewing them and putting together an assessment center. So you will hear from us closer to the assessment center. Would I be able to get into other programs after I complete the enterprise skills? So after you finish the enterprise skills accelerator program, I don't know if you'd still be eligible to apply for other programs with us in the future. However, like Karina mentioned, that it'll be assessed on how you've performed. If you've been successful and you've performed, what happens with you and how you get placed into the business next. However, if you've not been successful in the process, yes, you can apply again next year for any program that you deem suitable for yourself in the new academic year. Recently, you've applied for a role, finished application, passed, and moved to the next stage, probably detailed review as you mentioned. Anyhow, my question is, okay, why why don't you give us feedback about our application refusal after all the efforts made? So like I said, if you've been to the assessment center, we call every single one of you and provide you with the feedback in detail by call. We'll ring every single one. But if we were to give feedback to every single person who applied and they did not make it through any particular stage in terms of the detailed one, we would be going through thousands and thousands and thousands of application. Just going through feedback for people who attended assessment center. For example, last week we had an assessment center happening for the graduates, and we had about 200 people who interviewed, and we'll be calling every single one of them. So if only the people who have interviewed were 200, imagine the number of applications we've had. So that's why we do come back to you. But if you do have any specific questions about your application, we do try our best to come back to you. Do send us an email if you want, if you wish to request. Not everybody wants the feedback straight away. So if you do want it, do email us, and then some of the teams will come back to you where they can. Yeah. And can you apply again if your application? You can apply again in the next year. Again, yes. If you've not been successful this year, you can apply again in the next year. And our Rolls-Royce employees encourage students to make connections as it is one of the key tools. Yes, of course, LinkedIn. Connect with people working at Rolls-Royce, do have a chat with them, do ask them questions. There will be many people more than happy to help you and support you in that process there. So we do encourage that. Okay, for the graduate program this year, assessment centers have been held once already. We might have some more coming up, but you would have to watch this space for that. So if you have already applied, we will get back to you if we are still hiring for that one. However, next year, if you're applying for the next cycle, then the assessment centers will happen around November time. If you're traveling for work, for example, meeting in Bristol, then reimbursed, yes. If you relocate, you get 500. Well, regardless of relocating, you get the 500 bonus for the relocate. Is that Charlie? Is that you? What you've written there? You've answered a question there.
Yes.
No worries. I didn't read who it was from. Thank you. um. And then we've got a question around a visa here. So based in Ireland on a stamp 1G visa, could you please let me know if there are any business or tech pre-sale roles open for applications based in Ireland, remote or hybrid? If you please do want to send us an email about that. For this particular webinar, we are looking at those particular pathways that we've just discussed in our call. So do send us an email and we can direct you to the person who can help with that query for Ireland specifically. When you mentioned the interview phase 3, stage 3, after the online assessment, is that in person or on demand or on a virtual one? For our graduate internships and summer internships, it is a virtual assessment center. You do get an invite and it usually lasts half a day and you get all the links of a Teams call that you can join with your assessors on that. When are the assessment center taking place? I've covered those dates. Yes, I will share what I'll do is we'll give you the email address. However, on our website as well, on the career website, you can see there is a recruiting.emergingtalent at rolls-royce.com email address on there. Fantastic. Days in December. I think we've got some answers there already. For the ESA program, because it is a new program at the moment, we are, like I said, putting those assessment centers in place. Last year was the first time we did it, so they were quite ad hoc. This time we're in the process of planning them in soon. Mechanical student, do I select masters or bachelors in the education section of the application? So if you're studying masters, you select masters and then you will put down your predicted grade for then. So when you're graduating, you'll just put that date down for me. Veena, was your Enterprise Skills Accelerator in person? I believe it's in person.
No, it was online.
Virtual? Okay.
It was virtual, yeah.
Virtual.
Mm-hmm.
So it's virtual for that as well. And I'm just going to quickly see the Q&A tab as well because we've got quick questions, but I might have covered them there. Are there any opportunities to move to a branch abroad if you work for Rolls-Royce? If so, would you be able to choose where you would like to move? I think not as a part, from what I understand, not as a part of your internship or graduate program, unless there are any trips that are happening specifically to the project you're working on. But if you later once you develop out of the graduate scheme internship, or well, you become a permanent employee at Rolls-Royce, that can be part of your discussions you have with your manager and how you grow your career. Any of you would like to shed some light on your thoughts or conversations around that?
As a ESA cohort, we have one, I wouldn't say assignment. We have a week where we are going abroad with Rolls-Royce team, and it is a part of our postgraduate certificate. So ESA covers one of the, moving abroad, but it's not like moving abroad. You are still on the program. You are in the country, but you are going there to gain something, or maybe knowledge or something, and then you're coming back and applying those things back to your placement where you are placed. So yeah, and then later after you have completed your program, maybe you can just move around the business. You can go to US, you can go to Germany, but depends uh, on your skills and the country needs. So yeah.
Yep. Thank you, Ina.
Mhm.
I'm to do a placement year October 2026. Can I do ESA and will it cover for my placement year? I'm not entirely sure about that one. I'll have to come
No,
back to you. I don't think it can be worked. I don't think it works because it's technically a counterpart of the graduate program because you should have graduated already. That's one of
yeah.
the requirements for that. I'm in second year engineering at Imperial. My question is application related. In my education, do I mention? I cannot see the full question for some reason. Rania Khanna, if you can put that question in for me in the chat, maybe, because I'm not able to see the full question, sorry. Does the launch roles have material sciences and engineering? Yes, our roles can be very, very specific. So sometimes we do have things for materials. I believe we did have some for last year. So it just completely depends on which area of the business has that demand for a direct entry role and they want someone to come and specialize in that area.
Yeah. Also, I would like to add, Devika, there's one more colleague in my cohort who is from, material science and engineering background. So yeah, she was also interested in business, so she applied. So she's currently working in defense, so you can still
Yeah.
apply.
Yeah. So also for the enterprise. What are the stages post the initial screening for the Enterprise Skills Accelerator? Again, it is an assessment center with different. So you'll have an interview, you have a presentation sort of task, a problem-solving task as well for the Enterprise Skills Accelerator. Bina, would you like to? Were your assessments different?
No, my assessment, whatever you have mentioned, like the three questions, then psychometric test, and then they invited me for virtual interview. So yeah, that's the pretty much same
Same.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for the preparation, like I said, you can go onto the website. So what makes your application stand out when applying to the undergraduate of the year or enterprise skills accelerator? So uh, Jacob, do you want to take that one? What do you think stands out for that?
Yeah, for the undergraduate year, yes, you've got skill set, you've got education, but I think they want to hear a story, they want to hear your personal experience, they want to hear your passion, right? They want to see you as you. They want to know, is this person, you know, who is this person? Who are they? What is it they want? So you show a passion, be really enthusiastic. That's about it.
Yeah, thank you. I do second that when we do assess these as well. That's what we are looking for as well in the net, and that's why we've got the networking session as well to give you that better opportunity to demonstrate yourself. International student in Germany, can I get a sponsorship for doing an internship or graduate program at Rolls-Royce, and also for assessment center days? Assessment centers are virtual, but we for internships and graduate programs, not at the moment, like I said, because of the changes of the immigration happening. However, we do hiring in Germany for early careers as well. But again, there is a different team doing that in Germany. So if you go onto our career website and filter that down as per location and have a look at Germany, you will be able to see early career opportunities there with us. We've just got couple of minutes now, so I'm just going to skim through very quickly. So if I do not answer your question, it's probably because I've already answered that. Will you process any applications from international students for the 10-week summer program? If you're already in the UK studying in your second year or your first year for the 10-week summer internship and you have the student visa, yes, you will be, you're more than happy, you should be able to apply and be eligible for that. Are there any technical questions? No, not any technical questions directly to see test your engineering knowledge per se. You can demonstrate your engineering knowledge through your presentations or other conversations you have throughout the assessment. If you pass the online test, are you guaranteed an interview or an assessment center? No. If you pass the online assessment center or the online assessment, you're not guaranteed an interview or an assessment center, because after you've passed the online test, you still go through 2 or 3 stages of review. Plus, we only are able to book as many people as the assessment centers slots we have. So that's why we do say do apply soon as they go live, because we start booking them straight away. So the sooner you apply, it is more effective for you. Great insights here. When will the launch roles be advertised? Yes, they're ad hoc, apologies. And is it also for international students? We've covered that. If my application is for the 12-month internship and it's not successful, will I be eligible to apply for the 10-week one? The application process is exactly the same. So if at an application and review stage you're not successful, you're likely to not be successful for the 10-week one as well, because the application process is exactly the same from that perspective. So that's why we say you'd have to apply for the next year. But let's say you've interviewed for the 1-year internship, but you know we don't have more slots left, but we've got a summer internship. There can, again, it does not guarantee that. It can happen in very circumstantial situations. So 12, because it's an internship, you do not really get enough time to go and learn and rotate around. The graduate programs now rotate around different locations. You're not, so for example, if you're based in Derby, you're not going to be rotating in Derby itself. You rotate across anywhere in the business. So as a graduate in the graduate program, across the 24 months, you can be in Derby for 6 months. You can be in Bristol for another 6 months, for instance, and then Solihull for another 6 months, or you could be within the same location that you initially applied for. That's why that's why you get a broad experience. Now, for an internship, you are unable to do that. So you ideally stay with your own team. You do not change team nor you change manager. However, if you do want to go and shadow for a couple of weeks, a couple of months, you can arrange a gig for yourself in conversations with your manager and the people you network with. So it is not part of the program to rotate around in the internship. It is something you can drive if you wish to do so in an effective manner.
Lovely. Thank you so
Perfect.
much, Devika. Sorry, we've run out
No
of time
worries.
for the webinar, but it's so great to see the engagement with all the students. And thank you so much to the Rolls-Royce representatives today for sharing their stories, experiences, and thank you all to you students engaging and joining in with this webinar. Sorry to cut it short, and if you have any further questions, please feel free to go to the Rolls-Royce organisation page on Target Jobs website. You've obviously got these QR codes also to scan, but thank you again, Devika and team, for a wonderful webinar, and have a great day, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.